Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from Darlington, South Carolina, the home of the Lady in Black. Welcome to the Energy Smith Low Country 250, part of the HPRL Truck Series Season 6, brought to you by Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. 250 miles on tap for your viewing pleasure here this evening, and we're glad to see you all. Uh, Beautiful track, a lot of history, and a lot of exciting racing. It's going to be an exciting one, Michael. I know we got a little bit of a late start. We'll fill folks in here in just a minute on some of the technical difficulties, but an exciting race on tap for us here this evening, nonetheless.
Definitely 100%. We're going to try to work around it as best we can, try to see if we can get it fixed, or hopefully in the early part of this race. But like you said, Troy, Darlington, the Lady in Black, and the track Too Tough to Tame. There's a reason this 1.3 mile course has two names. There's a reason every NASCAR driver that you have ever heard from always says a win here is a driver's track because of how tricky it is, because of all the trouble that you can get into with how this historic place has just had a constant factor for putting those in bad spots and tearing up some race cars.
Well, the Darlington stripe is said for a reason as well, and we'll be sure to see that here this evening. But again, excited for this Week 10 matchup here of HPRL Truck Series Season 6, brought to you by Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Jiffy Lube of Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania is proud to support grassroots racing and the sim racing community. We provide fast, reliable automotive maintenance to help keep our customers on the road with confidence. From oil changes and inspections to preventative maintenance and vehicle care, we're committed to quality service in the Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania communities. Just like racing, vehicle maintenance depends on performance, reliability, and attention to detail. We're excited to support the HPRL Truck Series and the drivers, teams, and fans who love motorsports. Jiffy Lube, a Mechanicsburg and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Leave worry behind. All right. So a lot on tap. We got just about a little over 2 minutes before the trucks take the grid. So we want to level set here with folks at the top of the broadcast. There is some technical difficulties with the feed that provides the data. So with that, you're not going to see the timing tower until that kicks in. So we'll try to get that up and running as fast as we can, but you will not see the normal ticker. So you'll have to rely on Michael and I cascading that information to you. You're also going to get a pretty standard camera view. We won't have all the shots we normally have out of the gate, as that's tied to the same feed. So we will not be able to flip around to every driver. We won't be able to catch every replay, but we will continue to talk you through that in the meantime. And in the meantime, we'll also give you just a quick rundown of the starting grid verbally here for you. Mickey Sundera got the pole here this evening. Mickey Sundera, coming off a win, his third win of the season, claims his first pole of the season here this evening at Darlington. Derek Grigsby starting to his outside. Joey Creech, Jesse Sperling making up row number 2. Row number 3, Dominic Bettini and Taylor Locklear. Row number 4, Emil Duna and Jared Mann. Row number 5, Paul Dillon, newcomer here this week, and Jerry McKinney. Then Brian Torrey and Seth Owens make up row number 6. Austin Short and Chris Griffin make up row number 7. Christopher Hockley and Burt Wojcik make up row number 8. Patrick Schaefer and Hunter Adams make up row number 9. Jared Doherty and Caleb Sibbett make up row number 10, followed by Jason Baker, Keenan Kimber, then Thaddeus Friel, Joshua Baker, and James Dubose rounding out the field. Looks like we're going to have 25 trucks taking the grid here this evening. And Michael, probably one of the most exciting things about the HPRL Truck Series coming back to Darlington, it's Throwback Week. And boy, we had a chance to see an early snapshot of some of these trucks. They are going to look sharp here this evening.
Absolutely 100%. One of my favorite weekends that NASCAR did away with is Throwback Weekend. a good nod to all those who kind of came before these guys. A lot of these guys, maybe they're idols, a lot of heroes. We'll kind of highlight them as best we can through the night here, try to keep you filled in. Hopefully, we get these cameras up and working that we're able to highlight every single one of them. These guys are putting a lot of work to these paint schemes. We don't want to leave anybody out. So, absolutely, one of my favorite tracks, one of my favorite weekends that is sadly no longer here. Darlington gets 2 weekends. You know, the Southern 500. It used to be Throwback Weekend in the spring. But like I said, one of my favorite events that they did, and I really wish we still were doing it here at Darlington. Think my partner's still here? Joy's still there? Well, I guess every
Yeah, Michael.
computer's okay. There we go.
We're good. We're good. Just a par for the course here this evening. But hey, the trucks are taking the grid. Everything runs its course. The throwback weekends, there's only so many paint schemes to go through. Everything cycles through. And right now, these trucks are taking the grid to cycle 183 times around this track, Michael. As you see here, Mickey Sendera getting set on the pole. We're going to see if we can grab Mickey here real quick. Mickey Sendera, you got a copy?
I got you.
Mickey, coming off your third win of the season, grabbing your first pole of the season, Duno Electric pole winner. How are you feeling?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I was surprised to get the pole, but I'm throwing it back to Jeff Gordon, so hopefully I can drive like him.
All right, well, congratulations on that Duno Electric pole award. 183 laps tonight. Best of luck, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Duno Electric pole winner, Mickey Sendera, throwing it back to Jeff Gordon. Again, you're going to see the field roll around. The camera is on control for the most exciting action, so that might not always be what's up front or your favorite driver, but you're going to get a good shot of these trucks as they roll around here at Darlington. Michael, first stage, 40 laps. What's going through your head here as you get ready to take the green flag at the Lady in Black?
The biggest thing is make sure you don't tear up your truck at the beginning of this race. It is going to be a lot cooler here as we go later, or as we're later in the night here at the Lady in Black. So the biggest thing is make sure you don't try to spin those tires early, maybe out of turn 3 and especially, or sorry, out of turn 2 and turn 4, the usual exit. You always want to watch out for turn 4. If you try to cut it a little bit, you'll hit a little bit of a flat patch where the banking kind of goes away. So one thing you want to be sure is make sure you don't get too much throttle out of turn 4 early before you put the heat in these tires. Otherwise, you might be going around by yourself.
Nobody wants to go dancing by themselves. That's part of the excitement of going around Darlington. That Lady in Black, is you get a great look at these trucks here pacing around Darlington. It's going to be one of those races, Michael, where aggression pays off, but aggression can also pay the price. And it's going to be interesting to see. We've done a lot of short track racing this season. Now we come to Darlington, which, I don't know, it races like the short track. It races like an intermediate. I mean, let's be honest, it races like Darlington.
It is. There's nothing quite like it. The approach you have to take on this track is not like any other. Darlington originally wasn't made for trucks to be running, or for these trucks, however, to be running up by the fence. Originally, they were running more towards the bottom, maybe a few grooves below. But obviously, as cars have gotten faster and a lot higher, everybody knows the speed is up there by the fence, up there to go earn those Darlington strikes like you highlighted there, Troy. So we'll see how many of these guys are brave enough to go dancing up there by the wall, and we'll see how many have earned their stripes by the end of this race.
Stripes indeed. We'll start counting them as the pace truck drops off. Again, if you're just joining us, you will not have the ticker, and you'll have some limited views here to start while some technology catches up. But the one thing that we're going to focus on right now is Mickey Sendera leading them into the restart zone. Ladies and gentlemen, the hammer is down. We are green flag racing side by side into turn 1 here at Darlington.
Here we go, side by side into turn 1. All side by side still. You see one right there. Immediately go ahead and get loose down at the bottom of the racetrack. Able to hold on to it. Keeps it clean. We continue to ride on here. That Jeff Gordon throwback pacing this field up ahead. Looking behind, you have a Quaker State, and you see Jesse Sperling right there in the 29 machine, throwing it back to Dale Earnhardt Senior, back there on that Vickers Auto Parts truck. A lot of bouncing around here. You see a Dale Earnhardt Senior, another one there. The blue and yellow car there on the 26 of Jared Mann. as they continue to roll around here, complete the first lap. They will continue to roll on here at turn 2.
Completing the first lap at Darlington, you saw some trucks dip to pit lane. That's serving penalties from previous races, so they will make their drive-through penalty and try to get caught back up as we continue to watch the battles rapid around here. Great views of the trucks right now as they're ripping around Darlington and Michael side by side some places. Single file for the most part. Generally speaking, I think most guys would like to be single file going into the corner, as it does get a little bit tight, especially in 3 and 4. But right now, they're all chasing down the 2 of Mickey Sundero.
Here we go, Troy. Looks like we are just going to get some use out of our camera system. It came back up. Still not the timing yet, but we do have access to the camera. So while we ride along here, we're going to go ahead and try to highlight some of these schemes as we start off the top of this race. Up here at the front, it's the 2. Mickey Sandera throwing it back to the California kid, the Rainbow Warrior. Jeff Gordon up here at the front, going right behind him, the 5 of Derek Grigsby in that Energy Smith truck, looking like a throwback there to a Quaker State car.
Grigsby is actually a throwback to the Union First, I believe, from Sabco Racing back in the day. It was raced by Greg Sachs, Wally Dalleback, and Robbie Gordon. And they threw the Energy Smith logo on there as part of a representation of the Energy Smith Low Country 250 going on right now.
Thank you for keeping me honest there. We'll try to work on it as best as we can. But behind them, I had highlighted a little bit earlier, Jesse Sperling there in the 29 machine, throwing it back, Dale Earnhardt Sr., that black truck right there, the usual Vickers Auto Parts, the hometown man looking to try to get a win here in South Carolina. Jesse Sperling doing well so far in P3. Behind him, another senior throwback, the 26 of Jared Mann. Behind him, the 49 of Dominic Bettini throwing it back to, let me make sure I tell you right, an Eldora car, I believe, Troy.
Yeah, Dominic Bettini is actually throwing it back to Norm Benning's 2013 Eldora run. So Dominic Bettini going way back and throwing it out to Eldora with Norm Benning's paint scheme.
To work our way back here through the pack, the 62 of Joey Creech. You've seen this paint scheme a couple times. He's going to continue that trend here at Darlington with the Kevin Harvick throwback there, that silver and black truck for GM Certified Services on the side. Behind him, the one of Taylor Locklear. Throwing it back to
Sterling Marlin in 1987. 1987 Sterling Marlin throwback for Taylor Locklear.
Thank you. I'm gonna let Troy pretty much get you the rundown of these as I try to get everything back up working here. Behind him, the 18 of Jerry McKinney with a throwback.
Jerry McKinney is throwing it back to, oh boy, let's see if I can find Jerry McKinney's throwback here real quick. I believe it's supposed to be a throwback to the Superman scheme. I believe they've also altered the, there we go, great shot of it. They've altered the sponsors a little bit, but a throwback to the Superman scheme on Jerry McKinney's truck.
Behind these guys, the 12 of Chris Griffin.
Chris Griffin throwing it back to Ted Musgrave.
And behind him, the 74 of Brian Torrey.
Brian Torrey is throwing it back to Randy LaJoy. Randy LaJoy, and we're going to have a caution coming out here. I don't know if you're going to see it. You see the lights on the track.
I think we're going to have a spin with a newcomer. The 60 of Paul Dillon may have gone around here. We'll see if we can go ahead and catch a replay right here. See if that's working right for us. Looks like this looks like a weird spin here. Let's try to see if we can catch a better look here. Right behind the 60. Oh, you see a truck right there. I had to get on the brakes. See if we can catch who the original spin right there was. I believe that's the 65 of Keenan Kimber who wasn't even around. It is. The 65 of Keenan Kimber working underneath the 3 of Seth Owens right here. Turns 3 and 4. Owens up by the wall. Little bit of contact there. Oh, and then Owens just gets loose off the wall, comes down, contact with the 65. I'll spin him back down. I don't know who the truck trying to avoid him was. Right ahead of these guys. Who was that? Let's see if we can catch who that was. I want to know who almost hit him. There's Kimber. it is. Let's try to come back to that. But nonetheless, a little bit of contact there off
Was it the
turn
3
4.
of Seth Owens potentially?
I believe the first contact was with the 3 of Seth Owens. Watch right here. See the 65 underneath him. A little bit of contact there off the
Well, I can
door.
tell you Keenan Kimber's throwing it back to JJ Yaley, and Seth Owens is throwing it back to Ricky Rudd. So some action between Yaley and Rudd there.
Find out who it is. We'll have to come back to that. We'll want to make sure we get these guys coming down for pit stops. We'll try to see if we can catch that last car. Maybe had a little bit of a scrape there at the end of that scuffle.
We will get everything all set back up. I can tell you, since you can't see the ticker yet, they are currently pacing on lap number 11. They're going to complete lap number 11 this time at the stripe, which means we'll be starting lap number 2. Again, stage 1, we're racing to lap 40 here on stage number 1. Shout out to the chat. Thanks for sticking with us. I know we got a little bit of a late start, but glad to have you all along. Lisa and Abby already checking in. Shout out for the 29 Jesse Sperling's paint scheme. The throwback to senior, I believe, is what Michael had shown us before, right there in that Vickers machine. But right now, pacing underneath the lights here at Darlington.
Nice little Thursday cruise, as they will here around the 1.3 mile track, trying to calm down before they go back to the green where the chaos will pick right back up.
We expect things to pick back up very quickly. Saw a lot of early moves. You see a lot of stripes already. You can see the smoke from the wall as they're scraping that concrete, earning their stripes early in this 183 lap affair. But right now, the pace truck dips down to pit road. Sundara, Grigsby on the front row, your only 2 multi-time winners this season, bringing the field back into the restart zone. They get on the loud pedal. We're back underway at Darlington.
Back to green, back to work. Here we go. The 2 of Mickey Sundara once again with a great jump. That moves to 29, and Jesse Sperling now up to P2. He'll try to go run down his teammate behind him, the 5 at Derek Grigsby. You see behind these two, the 26 and the 49 side by side. Bettini and Mann side by side. They will head single file as they head into turn 3.
Mickey Sundara on the point. You see the field starting to get single file. Again, trying to find the most efficient way around the corner. You'll want to stay close. You got to set up those moves, but sometimes being side by side into the corner isn't the easiest place to be. Great views of these throwbacks rolling around this historic track. Again, everybody chasing Mickey Sundara out front. Jesse Sperling in second. Derek Grigsby in P3. Jared Mann running P4 currently, and Dominic Bettini there in his throwback machine, ripping around in P5. Right now, the top 5 started to put just a wee bit of a gap, not a big gap, but a wee bit of a gap on the rest of the field behind them. Again, rolling around here now on lap 15.
Continue to watch on here. See there's a little bit of a breakaway as the 1 of Taylor Locklear is going to be the splitting point away from the top 5. P6 right now. Behind him, P7, the 62 of Joey Creech. P8, the 18 of Jerry McKinney. This little pack behind them, maybe a little bit of a tire save mode, trying to take care of those trucks for a little bit later in this run. But right ahead of these guys, you can see a little bit of action maybe starting to occur. Jared Mann closing a little bit on Derek Grigsby, not enough yet. All right now, though, you see the top 5 pulling away. Behind it leaves these guys all back here to kind of fend for themselves, trying to make up track position wherever they can.
Yeah, everybody trying to position themselves for the run. They're trying to get that long green flag run to see what they're going to have later in the race. Lap 40 is, again, what we're racing to here in stage number 1. Lap 90 in stage 2. And then a 93 lap shootout, question mark, all the way to the finish line, making up 183 laps total here this evening at Darlington as we get a great view. Again, the track is fast. The lights are on, and these guys are using every bit of grip. Right now, Mickey Sundara out front with Jesse Sperling in tow right behind him. They've started to gap Derek Grigsby a little bit, but we're seeing these battles throughout the field. You're seeing these great paint schemes as we watch on with Chris Griffin, Brian Torrey, Jerry McKinney right there in front. Just a few of the great, tremendous schemes we'll see here this evening. We will try our best to highlight them all as we go throughout. You saw a glimpse of Patrick Schaefer leading this batch across the stripe.
Patrick Schaefer here in the 51 machine, currently P12, trying to gain back a little bit of ground. They've lost the pack ahead of them, including a newcomer, the 87 of Austin Short. Right now, P11, he's up here right on the heels of Brian Torrey in the 74. Austin Short, the 87 truck. He is a newcomer here this week. We're glad to have a new face out here in the field right now, right on the fringe of the top 10, trying to work hard. And Troy, we have enough trucks. We're going to have those top 10 for stage points that everybody wants to have. So a lot more room to go get you some points, a lot more points for you to have if you're up more towards the front.
Top 10 is a lot more enticing than the top 5 as far as chasing down points. And you get a great look of the 14 of Emil Duna wrapping it around the track in that Copenhagen machine. What a great looking scheme, throwing it back to AJ Foyt as we get another view of some more trucks here, ripping it around. The 15 of Christopher Hockley there, looking underneath the 60 of Paul Dillon. The 15 of Hockley, another great throwback scheme going on that truck. It is just tremendous to see everything that these guys have going on these paint schemes. Michael, I kind of wish I was out there. Like, this feels like legitimate old school NASCAR racing with these schemes at this track.
It is old school racing at an old school track. A lot of fun every time you come here to Darlington. It kind of depends on what the weather is. It kind of depends on what kind of race you're going to get. Obviously, as we get later towards the darkness here that they've set here for the session here at Darlington, it's going to be a lot friendlier to kind of maybe make some moves, have enough speed to kind of work around it. See, when it's during the day, it's a lot hotter. The track's a lot greasier, so it's hard to get the power down. Usually you can end up maybe make a mistake, getting that truck loose real easy. But when it's down here, when the lights are starting to come on, the temperature's starting to set, it brings great racing and a lot more grip for you to play with here on the 1.3 mile oval.
It's just going to try to entice these drivers to push it a little bit harder, get a little bit more. Then that's going to push them up closer to the wall, and stripe after stripe, we're going to continue to add on. As we watch the battles continuing out throughout the field here, you see the 20 of Caleb Sibbett roping around that high side, right up at the wall, coming down just a little bit on exit. Michael, I think one of the things that, folks at home, if you haven't been to Darlington or if you haven't driven Darlington, even in the sim, coming off the corner, how difficult is that for these drivers as they continue to rope the high side, but then try to maximize that exit speed?
It is extremely hard, especially in turns 1 and 2 when you try to carry as much speed as you can. We'll actually try to see if we can catch a ride along here. We're going to actually announce a new leader, 29, Jesse Sperling, up to the point. What we're going to do, we're going to ride around inside with Jesse and kind of see what he's trying to do here in this truck. Wait till he gets on this straightaway. We're going to ride along with a lap here to try to see what Jesse's seeing here. So you see, come across the stripe right here. Usually what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to cut a little bit. So you see right there, he's going to cut down, get a little bit of that dotted line. Just let the momentum carry that truck all the way up to the fence. Right here, you got to be patient. You hear him come out of the throttle, waiting to get back on the throttle to get the exit of that corner. That corner is not a perfect corner out. It's a weird, almost sticks out just a little bit. The same goes in right here. You're going to enter middle, drift up maybe a little bit of speed, trying to slide the tires too much. You can see he's not full throttle. He's being very patient with his throttle control to get that truck out just because of how tight you get out of these corners. We'll go one more lap here. We'll listen to him in the middle of this corner here off throttle. You can hear he's having to sit there and wait on it just to get that truck to rotate around that corner before he gets right back on the throttle to get that loud pedal back down and going.
Such a great lap or two there with Sperling roping around as we see some more of the trucks. It's hard to explain, but your truck is pushing towards the wall. So you're tight, like you said, Michael. But if you get on the gas too fast, it goes from tight to super loose if you hit that throttle at just the wrong spot exiting that corner, because there's almost like a little bump as you kind of level off into that straightaway, and it can really make that rear end light quick as can be.
Absolutely, 100%. It's kind of like a magnet hooked onto that right front of your truck. It just pulls you up into that wall. No matter what you try to do, you'll have the wheel sitting almost 90 degrees to the left, and you're still going to trend in that direction. There's really just no getting away from it if you try to get too big of a hurry too soon in a run, it will punish you and it will make you learn to not get on that throttle as soon as you want to. Just because it's like I said, the way this banking is, it just carries your momentum. You actually see Joey Creech get a little bit of a scrub there off of turn two, just where it gets a little bit tight. But no, if you try to push it, it's going to remind you why you cannot push it. And you're going to end up paying it later in the run.
All right. Well, speaking of runs, let's give you just a quick rundown as we're watching the battles throughout the field right now. You see Joey Creech on screen leading. I believe that's the 18 of Jerry McKinney right behind him. Indeed, as we see some trucks hit the bottom side. They have to go to pit road, or are they just getting connected? Okay. We'll give you a quick rundown. Up front, Jesse Sperling, Mickey Sundera running P2, Jared Mann P3. Derek Grigsby was P4. We'll see if that action we just saw on the screen changes that up at all. And Taylor Locklear was behind them. So Taylor Locklear may have taken over some of those positions as they come across the line, and he indeed does. Taylor Locklear up to P4, Joey Creech P5 there. That's your top five. Jared Doherty has disconnected, so it looks like Jared's night is done early here at Darlington. And we have Jason Baker, Joshua Baker, Caleb Sibbett, and Thaddeus Friel all a lap down. Again, penalties to be served early in the race. That is likely the reason that they are a lap down. So they might be fighting hard to see who can get the lucky dog unless they choose to stay out for a wave round. Last but not least, getting caught up in the chat. Lori, thanks for checking in. Butterfly checking in. And Ron Griffin shouting out the throwbacks. Thank you all for checking in. We're going to continue to bring you the action. And while we try to get some of the timing and scoring stuff sorted out, we will do our best to keep you apprised of what's going on throughout the field. Right now, they are working on lap 30. So at the stripe, they'll have 10 laps to go in the stage, Michael.
Absolutely 10 laps to go in the stage. Still plenty of time to make some moves. You have a little bit of tire left. Darlington obviously is famous for eating these tires away with the aggregate that they use. When they put the asphalt in here, they use seashells. So what it does is it's a very aggressive surface and loves to eat away at those tires. So tire wear is going to be a big factor that we always talk about. But I think even if you take care of those tires, if you wait too long on a run, maybe you're going to try to push, I don't think you're going to have enough tire just be there to go try to make up leaps and bounds on these guys. I think you're going to have to be kind of in the happy middle of pushing and maintaining. Not so much a tire save, but be in a maintain mode of not going over the limit of using those tires.
Don't want to go over the limit. And speaking of limits, if they have to make green flag stops, that speed limit on pit road will surely factor into the equation, getting off this tricky track onto that pit road and getting that truck woed down. But again, we continue to watch the laps click away. The 62 of Joey Creech on your screen with Taylor Locklear just in front of him. This time by the stripe, they will complete lap number 32. They are on to lap 33. So 8 laps to go on the stage. Jesse Sperling out front by 1.3 seconds over the 2 of Mickey Sundera.
Continue to hold on well here. You continue to watch on. Jesse Sperling still maintaining that gap. Like Troy said, Jared Mann actually is going to hop right around there. The 2 of Mickey Sundera to put Jared Mann up to P2. We'll see if he has anything for Jesse Sperling right now. The gap 1.1 second ahead, so not too far away, but it's going to be hard to make up in that amount of time that we have left here in this first stage. Behind them, the 4 of Taylor Locklear having a little bit of a close battle there with a 62 of Joey Creech. He's starting to run him down. That's for P4 right now. These two, you actually see Taylor up there on the wall, still on the wall. He's going to open up the door for the 62 of Creech. Contact there. Locklear, a little bit of a bump there off turn 2. He's going to cough up that spot. 8th right behind him, the 18 of Jerry McKinney. Someone who's looking to get some good points here, trying to move himself up that cut line. Sandy, we'll try to highlight a little bit later here, try to keep you maintained on that cut line we always talk about every week. But behind these guys, the 12 of Chris Griffin, another good run here. Chris Griffin having 2 great runs, had a good finish last week as we left, and now keeping that momentum strong here in the first stage here at Darlington.
And keep an eye on Jared Mann, that 26 machine. He's closed 2/10 off of Jesse Sperling. He's about 1.1 seconds behind Jesse Sperling right now. We saw him just get around Mickey Sundera. Has Jared Mann sized this up enough to go chase down Jesse Sperling for the stage win? He's continuing to cut into it. Another 2/10 off, Michael, down to 0.93 that time at the stripe. You can visually see the speed at which Jared Mann is catching the lap truck of Seth Owens, who gets out of the way, and now nothing between Jared Mann and Jesse Sperling as they continue to rope around. This time by the stripe, there will be 4 laps to go. This time at the stripe, 4 laps to go in the stage.
4 laps to go. Looking off the deck lid here, the 29 of Jesse Sperling. You can see right behind him, the 26 of Jared Mann. Reeling him back in. The gap is 7/10 right now as we run, and still closing just a little bit. Jesse Sperling's got to try to hold on. Don't make a mistake, though. Don't be so much trying to run away that you end up hurting this truck here in this long run. You don't have that long until this stage is ending. So just make sure you take care of it and try to hold on as long as you can.
Hold on as long as you can. The last lap, Jared Mann cut another 10th off the lead of Jesse Sperling. It was 0.828 this time at the stripe. We're going to see a 0.69 differential, just over a 10th off that. If Jesse Sperling can hang on to those fractions, he should hang on to the stage. 2.5 laps to go in the stage. Jesse Sperling trying to hold off Jared Mann as they head off into turn number 3.
Jesse Sperling all by himself. Still Jared Mann waiting in the folds, trying to capitalize if Jesse ends up making that mistake, which he has not yet. He's had a great first run here in this first stage. He'll try to continue that momentum as Jared closing it just a little bit down to 4/10. Oop. We had a blip for a second. There we go. Came back. Jesse Sperling still holding on there. The gap about 5/10. You can see Jared, though, continuing to close in behind him. He doesn't have that long to go, Troy, but you may think if he gets close enough, maybe he can try to force the issue, maybe make a mistake out of Jesse.
They're going to be coming to lap 40 right here. So you're going to see Jared Mann trying to press hard on Jesse Sperling as they hit the stripe. Sperling hanging on out front. That time at the stripe, it was a 0.424. And our top 10 have crossed the line. That will be the end of stage number 1. And your Vickers Auto Parts stage 1 winner will be the 29 of Jesse Sperling. All right. Vickers Auto Parts stage 1 is in the books. And Vickers is a business of Jesse Sperling's granddad, Bub Vickers. Started up in the 50s. New and used parts for all makes and models. Priced as used, good as new. Located at 914 South Alabama Boulevard, Highway 221, Chesney, South Carolina. And they ship anywhere in the country. Call them at 864-461-2621. Vickers Auto Parts, your stage win sponsor. Well, Michael, pit stop time.
Always important here. We always talk about it. Don't make a silly mistake on pit road. Make sure you capitalize on pit road if you're able to. We'll see. We can ride along here. The 29 of Jesse Sperling bringing them down pit lane. We'll see who makes that ever costing mistake here. As you see them roll on down pit road, a couple guys going to stay out and try to get that wave round, I think. I don't think we'll have anybody stay out here, being such a tire important track here. You see the 2 of Mickey Sendera going to take his number 1 pit stall, try to beat anybody out here as we'll watch the race off pit road.
The race within the race, as you see the trucks rolling down, and it looks like Sperling is going to hang on. Sendera may have gotten Jared Mann there just based off of their pit stall locations.
We'll wait for it to update and see what we have happen out here as we wait a second.
While we wait for that, let's see if we can actually grab our stage 1 winner. Let's see here. Jesse Sperling, you got a copy? We'll see if we get Jesse Sperling. Got a copy?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
We got you now, Jesse. Vickers Auto Parts stage 1 win. Looks like you had it pretty comfortable out front there once you took the lead, but Jared was closing a little bit towards the end of the run. What are your thoughts here heading into stage number 2?
I think I was going a little bit too hard there at one point, so we'll back it off a little bit and see if we can't keep the lead.
Well, put it out front, and we're supposed to let you know that Jade is watching also.
All right.
All right, best of luck, Jesse.
See you, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Vickers Auto Parts Stage 1 winner, Jesse Sperling. So, Michael, it's a family affair here this evening. Everybody's watching. He's got it on point. What are you thinking here as we're going to head back to green?
Well, we talked about it. This is the hometown man of 29 of Jesse Sperling. Always has a great run. Every time we talk about a tire conservation track, he's been fast all season. There's a reason he's our points leader. I think we're going to have another great stage. Obviously, we've seen him and his teammate, the two of Mickey Sandera, continue to battle each other here so far this season. We'll see what that continues, but my eyes right now are behind them. The 62 of Joey Creech and the 26 of Jared Mann. We'll see if these two have anything for these two teammates who have been all but in control of this race.
They have extended the caution 1 lap, so we'll have one more lap before we head back to green. Again, stage 2 will be going to lap 90, but another chance to just take a great view of the trucks and the throwback schemes here in the Energy Smith Low Country 250. And Michael, maybe if we get a quick shot of Patrick Schaefer's truck. Patrick Schaefer, the big driver behind Energy Smith Low Country 250. A bunch of trucks throwing it back to original schemes, but throwing that Energy Smith Low Country logo on there. Thank you to Patrick and everybody from Energy Smith Low Country making this possible here this evening in Darlington, South Carolina. What a tremendous group, a tremendous sponsor, and what a great looking field to put your name on.
Absolutely. We're going to try to highlight a couple more while we're here on this extended caution. You see the 84 of Hunter Adams right here, that black and purple truck right here. I believe that's a Dolly right there. A little bit of a shout out there to Dolly Parton. Obviously, sad news out of that. A lot of people lost within the past week, and not enough time to really name all of them. I know obviously big three off the top of the head. Dolly Parton, a huge fan of NASCAR, obviously a huge face there in Tennessee, which will head to Bristol a few weeks later. So maybe a few more in the folds as for Dolly as we get later in the season.
And speaking of getting into the folds and later in, we're going to get later into the races. We're back under green here at Darlington on lap number 45, racing to lap 90 as you see the field all following Jesse Sperling's tracks right now. And we'll get some more looks at those trucks as we continue to go through the races. Right now, Mickey Sandera trying to put pressure on Sperling as they go around the corner. Dips a little bit lower, but Sperling gets the run off. Jared Mann chasing them both in P3.
Great run in there with Jared Mann. Once again, a little bit of a hiccup, I think. Waiting for it to spit it back out. We continue to wait a second here. Make sure it comes back to us.
We're going to continue to rope around while everything's happening in real time for you. We've got some behind the scenes glitches on our side, so you guys are getting even more action than what we're getting right now. But right now, Jesse Sperling out in front, got a 0.2 of a second lead over Mickey Sandera. Mickey Sandera about 0.2 over Jared Mann. The top three continuing to be in order as they rip around the track. Everything's clean and green as we're going around right now. Our top five rounded out by Jerry McKinney, currently running P4. Dominic Bettini in P5, pressing the field. It's going to continue to go strong all the way around. They're pushing hard. They're fighting single file, but they're inching ever closer, bumper to bumper, as they're ripping around this track right now. Great battles going throughout. And we're going to have a caution coming out right now. Under caution here at Richmond. Again, we apologize for working through some of the technical difficulties, but we're going to continue to keep everything going for you as best as we can. As you can see, everything unfolding on your screen. Under caution, it looks like Mickey Sandera may have gotten around Jesse Sperling there. We'll see exactly what transpired at this time.
Saw a big wreck here heading into turn one. May have had a server blink because I believe I have everybody on my screen actually disappear for a second until they all reappear. You see A total of about 5 trucks get collected up here. The 85 of Jason Baker, the 65 of Keenan Kimber, the 84 of Hunter Adams, the 60 Paul Dillon also involved as well in this wreck. We're trying to keep as much on here as we can. Like I said, I think we may have had a server glitch. Trying to make sure of that. You see the 60 there get piled in by the 85, and a couple more come rumbling through this wreck not far behind them. You see Sibit able to dodge it right there. A 10 of James Dubose able to try to get out of there nice and clean, as well as the 90 of Thaddeus Friel able to get away nice and clean there out of the way from that wreck.
Right. Well, it gives us a chance to reset. Just our third caution here this evening, our second natural and the stage break, but a chance to reset. Much like stage number one, we had an early caution and then we were able to reset and go green to the end of the stage. So we'll continue to see if stage two follows suit as we're running right now on lap 50, about to complete lap 50 this time at the stripe. Again, going to lap 90 for stage number two. All right, the field's doubling back up behind the pace truck. We're going to see if everybody can get reset, everything in check, and we'll see if we can fire away here at Darlington. Again, we apologize for some of the hiccups that are going on. Technical difficulties behind the scenes, giving us a few curveballs to try to swing at, but we'll continue to keep you apprised of what's going on the track as best as we can in the meantime. Mickey Sandera, Jesse Sperling side by side, getting ready to bring us back to green. It's been a very exciting race so far. Again, we talked about the great throwback paint schemes at this historic track. And, you know, a shout out to all those people that make these things happen. It is not easy to put together a paint scheme, especially for a one-off race. So shout out to everybody doing that. But right now, Sandera, Sperling into the restart zone. Green flag is going to be back out here at Darlington, and we're underway on lap number 52 with Mickey Sandera taking the point. Jesse Sperling going to follow in tow. And behind them, Jared Mann and Jerry McKinney continuing to rope out the top four with Joey Creech looming back there. Dominic Bettini looming back there. Great battles throughout the top 10. Even though it looks like they're single file, these guys are really positioning themselves to make a run down the stretch. Nose to tail as they continue to race off into the corner at Darlington.
Great racing continuing to unfold here as we continue to watch on. The two of Mickey Sandera still leading this pack around here. Behind them, the 29 of Jesse Sperling, the 26 of Jared Mann behind these guys. Still great battling here early in this run as we continue to watch on here.
Continuing to watch on the field, single file, nose to tail, all the way through the pack right now, as you start to see drivers ducking their nose out occasionally to look for the fresh air. Going to try to fight those tight and loose conditions depending on where they're going. Again, all of this happening behind Mickey Sandera, who's currently pacing the field out front. They're going to continue to battle on as things are going through. It's going to be a push to the end. Everybody fighting, everybody pushing. Just a heads up, there might be a slight hiccup. There might be a reset of the stream. So if the stream drops for any of you, hold on just a second, watch. We'll be right back. Right now, there's going to be a battle up front between Sandera and Sperling. We'll continue to watch this. If you drop, come back, find us. We're going to be here. We'll get you caught up on everything that's happening in case there's any hiccups. But right now, the battles are tight throughout the front. the top two, looking side by